The galaxy didn't notice the death at first. One explorer, gone in the great endless dark. A statistical blip, a speck against infinity. The news trickled into the Galactic Assembly via board courier drone. Human surveyor ship destroyed in outer sector. No survivors. And the chamber laughed. Not cruelly, not maliciously. Just the polite laughter of civilizations that had long since learned to stop keeping score when individuals died. People perished every day on a galactic scale. Crews lost in void storms, pirates, hull breaches, micrometeorites. Species with trillions of members didn't mourn one explorer any more than a forest mourns a leaf. Except humans. The human delegation didn't laugh. Ambassador Elias Monroe leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled, and smiled in that infuriating human way, the smile that could mean amusement, threat, or simply patience stretched thin. "Ambassador," rasped the insectoid chair being, "surely this is not cause for alarm? One vessel. One crew. One man," Monroe corrected gently. "Dr. Adam Price. He had a name." The chair being clicked its mandibles. "A statistical anomaly." Monroe's smile widened, friendly and terrible. "An anomaly," he said softly, "that you've just made personal." Adam Price had been a geologist. A friendly man with a beard that looked like it belonged on someone chopping wood, not mapping asteroid belts. He'd gone poking around the edge of Zorati-controlled space, found a planet that glittered strangely in scans, and vanished. The Zorati made the mistake of admitting what they'd done. Violation of sovereign territory, they hissed in the assembly, all spines and arrogance. The human intruder was terminated. "Intruder," Monroe repeated mildly, like a man rolling wine across his tongue. "Interesting word. On Earth, we prefer explorer." He took a sip of water. Earth ambassadors always drank water at these sessions, just to remind everyone they domesticated oceans, and smiled again. "See, the thing is, if you kill an explorer," he set the glass down with a delicate clink, "you don't just end a life. You call out the pack." The assembly shifted uneasily. Packs were for predators. Predators were a subject species avoided mentioning around humans. The Zorati chittered in disdain. "You threaten us over one?" "Oh no," Monroe said warmly. "Not a threat. A promise. On Earth, when you hurt one of us, the rest come running." His eyes gleamed. 8 billion of us. With sharp teeth. The first sign that humanity wasn't bluffing came a week later. The Zorati border posts started going dark. Not destroyed, dark. The kind of silence where cameras looped the same feed for hours until someone noticed the shadows didn't match the sun. A merchant convoy reported finding one outpost abandoned, tables still set for meals, chairs still warm, comm logs scrubbed. And on the wall, scrawled in messy red paint, "Adam was here." The assembly buzzed with outrage. "This is barbarism," shouted the crystalline envoy. "Civilized species do not avenge individuals." Monroe adjusted his tie. "Civilized species don't murder explorers. We're improvising." The fog being delegate flickered nervously. Humans are not improvising. Humans are hunting." The Zorati dispatched a fleet. 50 warships, bristling with weapons, dispatched to pacify the humans. The fleet did not return. Instead, human ships appeared on assembly feeds, transmitting crystal-clear footage. Zorati dreadnoughts gutted, crew pods neatly collected and returned unharmed. The human captain in the footage smiled at the camera. "We're not here to kill you," she said sweetly. "We're here to teach you fear. Adam sends his regards." The assembly was silent for a long time. Humor lingered in the way humans waged their campaign. They left notes. They hacked comms and replaced them with Earth songs, cheerful tunes about hunting, wolves, vengeance. They dropped leaflets written in Zorati, each one with the same phrase, "You didn't kill one man. You woke 8 billion hunters." The Zorati grew frantic. "They are savages. They refuse to negotiate." "Oh, we'll negotiate," Monroe said pleasantly. "After you crawl." The other species began whispering. Some were horrified, some impressed, and some very quietly began sending envoys to Earth with trade offers, thinking, if they fight this hard for one man, imagine how hard they'd fight for allies. The climax came when the Zorati tried to bomb an Earth colony in retaliation. The bombs never landed. Instead, the Zorati fleet found itself locked in place, every system hijacked, every engine frozen. Human cyber warriors had cracked their entire command net. One by one, the Zorati ships turned slowly, weapons arming, targeting themselves. The Zorati commanders shrieked in panic. "You wouldn't dare." On the comms, Ambassador Monroe appeared, smiling faintly. "Oh, we would," he said. "But we don't need to. You're going to do it for us." And the Zorati fleet annihilated itself. The assembly nearly dissolved in chaos. "You humans," whispered a jelly-like envoy, "you are apex predators. But you hide it under jokes and smiles." Monroe inclined his head politely. "Of course. Would you invite a wolf into your house if it growled? Better to let it smile." The assembly shuddered. Species that had laughed at human sentiment now watched in awe and dread. The lesson was clear. On Earth, vengeance wasn't statistical. It was personal. 8 billion hunters had heard the cry of one fallen explorer, and the galaxy would never forget the sound of their footsteps. The twist came quietly, in the aftermath. The Zorati surrendered, broken, begging for peace. Humanity accepted graciously, magnanimous in victory. They even rebuilt some of the destroyed outposts, with better plumbing. But what no one realized was this: humanity had already been building the networks, the fleets, the contingencies. Adam Price's death hadn't caused the war. It had merely justified it. And in the shadows of the assembly, while diplomats argued and species quaked, humanity laid out maps. Not of territory, not of conquest, of hunting grounds. Because in the end, Adam Price hadn't died in vain. He'd given humanity the one thing it needed most to rise: an excuse.